Hi all, Bones here from BSA Bantams and welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, what I'm going to have a crack at is casting the head. So there's a few things I've done, I've identified and I'm changing, so we'll go through that right now. So as you can see, we've got another head up there, and something I should have paid attention to and I didn't was when I 3D printed this, what do you call it, the bed plate temp was a bit low and it just curled up this edge here. But more importantly, when it sort of curled that edge, these three fins here were on a bit of an angle. So I've gone back, reprinted it. For any of you that do 3D printing, if you want to know how long that took, it's 40 hours worth of printing. And what I have done with this one is I have completely doused it in resin. You can see the drips coming off the edge there. So there's a couple of reasons for that. Resin's far easier to sand than the PLA that this is printed in, and it also increases the thickness of the fins ever so slightly, which gives me a better opportunity to get molten metal down into it. You can see these fins here are a different colour. It's because I've already started sanding it. So I will sand this, wet and dry it, polish it, wax it, and we'll get it into the sand and we'll see how we go. So I'm just prepping my sand out, of just putting a bit more water content in it. It was 40 degrees here yesterday, so it's a bit warm. That's why I didn't cast yesterday. It's a bit hot to be firing the furnace up in that sort of temperature. I'm having overalls on and all the safety gear. So I'll just give this all a mix up again and get a bit more water into it, and we'll see how we go. So that's the first attempt with the new pattern, and I'm pretty happy. You can just see these edges across here. Now the last pattern I actually filled those in so they would be radiused, but generally I'm very happy. So a few more little tiny mods. As I said, I'll just fill a bit of resin in these. I don't know whether you can see them right in those corners there. You can see where there was a little bit of sand hung up in it. So I'll make those a bit more radius. But the other thing is that I'm trying to get in as close as I can. Just have a look at the quality of that sand and how smooth that finish is. Fantastic. So this will be it for a couple of days. Christmas Eve tomorrow. A couple of other things to do. So I've just dropped my pattern in, and from just before, well, previous couple of frames before, I have filled up in the corners here with resin before I sanded it all out. So we'll get this set up, and a bit of chalk on it. If you're wondering how long it sort of takes to pack the box, by the time you get it all done, it's around half an hour. Probably less, 20 minutes. But we'll keep cracking on. It's a lot milder day here today, so we had a cold front come through last night, so it should be all right to get a cast done. I am going to pack both boxes that I've got, and we'll see if we can end up with two heads by the end of the day done. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm just striking off my first box. Oh. So I've got the first bit done. And put the cope on. So that's so you can see. So hopefully you can see in the box a bit. So vent, feeder, pourer. So I'm just dropping some facing sand in at the moment over the pattern, and then we'll start just packing it in. So I have struck off most of the top. I've got to pull those out. I've got to put my pouring basin in, and then we'll actually take these out and strike it off, which I might do now. I think these can come out. Got to pull them out without jiggling it. Right, they're out. All right, now this is my feeder. So this will be a volume of metal that'll keep a hydrostatic pressure on the actual pattern as it's cooling. So if you remember when I did the triple clamps, there's a tiny bit of a depression there. I should have had a feeder above that where the bulk of the material is in the actual pattern itself. So I'll actually cut a reasonably large chamfer on this. I'm not too worried about the sand dropping through because once I separate it, I'll be able to clean it out. So. Righty ho, the moment of truth. Withdrawing this without destroying the pattern, otherwise it'd start again. Oh, that's something I didn't pick up on. Bit of sand in the pourer. It's not good. Shit. Some success and some not success, and it's my fault. I didn't pack this corner down tight enough, and it's pulled these two fins out. But my modification to excuse me, stop these edges breaking out has worked, except for one. And the other thing that just dawned on me, last time I did this when I had it came out easily out of the mould, I didn't coat it in chalk, I coated it in graphite. So, I mean, obviously I can't use this because it's busted the fins out, but I might have a go at graphite. But the actual form of everything is bloody fantastic. Pity it's strong. Like this sand's a lot better than the other sand. So anyway, start again. And there it is, got it. So pretty happy about that. Well, I'm not pretty happy, I'm really happy. There was a few goes at it, I'm going to say 4 goes. Like I said before, I was hanging up on one of the fins consistently, so I gave that a sand and it seems to have worked out all right. So, the cope's done. So it's a matter of putting it together and we'll fire up the furnace. Oh, well, actually I'll pack another one and we'll pour 2 hopefully today. So we've got our 2 moulding boxes done. Furnace is just firing up with a bit of a preheat on the crucible. We'll start melting some material down and we'll go for a pour. Hopefully this all goes well, really. We'll just see what happens, but sort of done the best I can do, I think. So I forgot to turn the GoPro on for the first pour. So it went really, really well. Metal just flew in. You can see a bit of the steam venting off now, but very happy with the way it poured. So hopefully it'll be all right. I've got my grandson here to make sure that we turn it on for the next pour. But I've just got so engrossed with doing everything, I forgot to turn the GoPro on. Sorry about that. You all right, Josh? Yep. Let's see how we go. This is the second one, wasn't it?
That is the second one.
We'll go the other one. And the reason for that is I poured that first. We'll leave this one in the box for a little while longer. Well, not quite, but it was pretty close. The sand's fallen away there and there. And it didn't quite fill in the back here. So that one's no good. It's really unfortunate because the surface finish is so good on it. Right, we'll go for the next box. No, no good. So a bit of a post-mortem from yesterday, and yes, yesterday I was disappointed, but however, sitting down and looking at these, I'm not completely gutted. Now, there's another thing. I thought I had some, and I'll go and show you in a little while. I thought I had some older heads that I could, reprofile and all that sort of stuff, but I haven't. So I've got no choice but to have to do these, get this right if I want race heads. Right, so what went wrong? Pretty easy. My venting wasn't good enough. So if I turn that over, you can see this one here. That's actually one of the vents I poked all the way through. When you're venting, you stop just short. But this time I'll be going all the way through, and you can see. I'll try and get you in there. That's just steam trying to escape, and it can't. I mean, surface finish is like fantastic, which is unfortunate. And this sort of thing here is trapped steam in the bottom of the box. So what I'm going to have to do is go through, and from the inside, all these fins, I'm going to have to poke a vent out so the trapped gases can escape the bottom of the fin, and on the top I'll be venting all this as well, because that's only a pretty thin section. So yeah, today's job, pack another couple of mold boxes, vent it right out, and see how we go. So as you can see, I've got heaps and heaps of vent holes in it this time. I've even poked through the fins to vent out underneath. So hopefully when we do this pour, we'll see a fair bit of steam coming out, which I think was the issues yesterday. But we've got the furnace going, so we'll pour this one and we'll just see how we go. Okay, moment of truth again. Okay, as you saw, we've had another failure. So that's too many for me. I think the thickness of the fins, I just can't get metal to flow in it. Sorry about the wind. So I'm giving up on this pattern. I'm flogging a dead horse. You can see, like, I won't fully fill in it how thin a section it is. I thought these might have been gas, but obviously not, because I've vented it so much. So I am going to design my own head, 3D print it, and cast it with thicker lands on the end of the fins. Possibly something like this. I think what I'll do is probably have less fins, maybe 4 fins less, space them out, slightly thicker base, but thicker at the top, because I need that draw, that angle, to be able to pull it out of the sand. So I've got no option, I don't think. I've got no option. But anyway, we'll get stuck into that and see what we come up with. So what you're looking at there is the new head that I've just designed on 3D CAD. So this is our print starting. We've probably got about another, I don't know, 30 hours to go before the final product's done. So we're probably halfway through the print, probably a bit more. We've got about, I think it's around 12 hours to go, probably a bit more, 13. So it's coming together. So there's our original pattern. This is the pattern that I'm going to cast. So you can see it's got chalk on it because I've already had a go at putting it in the sand, and it works really well. I'm very happy. So we're going for a cast today. Over here is, or over the back over there, is the finished barrel that's going away today to be bored. So just quickly, there are our fins that have been put on. This has been machined. New inlet tracked on it to take a Makuni flange on there. And here's the other pattern that I designed and printed, but I don't like it. It's just too thick, too clunky, and will take too much metal. So I've just got my box packed, pourer, feeder, vent. So I'll cut my pouring bowl, and we'll be ready nearly to start separating once I pull everything out. And I'll bring it back to have a look at that in a sec. So I've just cut my pouring cup. Bit of chalk down it. About to take the feeder out, so a bit of a rotate. So this is obviously 3D printed, this one. Beautiful. Take the vent out. Beautiful. Just around the edges off so no crusties go in there. And if they do, I can blow them out now. Closer. You come around. No, other way, quick. That's it.
tiny bit.
Pretty good guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. No. For some reason this one. And it's the same fins. It's the same fins that followed the other one. So this is the two heads that were cast. They're actually cast yesterday. And unbelievably, it's the same failure mode, nearly exactly the same fins as the other pattern over there. So my theory about fin thickness isn't valid. And for the life of me, I can't work out why it's still exactly the same fins, not only on both of these, but when I cast that one over there. So there is something that I've been doing all along inherently that is the same between the two patterns. Like these fins are a lot thicker on the edge, but it's still the same fins that fail. So what I'm going to do is change the orientation of the pattern. So cast it with fins facing up, and I'll vent through the crest of the fins all the way out. I don't have enough casting knowledge to work out what's going on, but to me, the way it's like spattered, it's nearly like a steam generated thing from the sand, or I don't think it's just pushing it over. I could be wrong, but anyway, either way, it's not working. So it's consistently not working. So I've got to change something up. So this time we're going to have a go. As I said, have the pattern fill from the bottom and come up. Now, good things. The feeder worked really well. I've got no shrinkage here. So the size of my feeder and everything I think works really well. So I'll have to change it around to have the feeder in this section when I change the orientation of it. So anyway, I'll better get onto it. Okay, sorry about the wind, can't be helped. I have packed another box with the orientation of the head facing up, and at the crest of each fin I've poked a heap of holes through here. This is why this looks a bit scabby on the top, because it's actually pushed some of the sand out when I turned it back over. It just pushed it away. Wouldn't work, but I mean, this is more proof of concept than anything. I mean, I'd dearly love to produce a spot-on item, but we'll just wait and see. Furnace is firing up, and we'll start to get into it soon. You right to go, mate?
Yep.
So that's the casting that we got. So as I said, it was proof of concept, but there's some interesting things that have happened. Number one, feeder actually works very well. There's no shrinkage or anything around here. I've got full fins here, and obviously down here it's not full form. So because you pour through here and it runs all the way through and then out the vent and up there as well. So there was a couple of issues. You probably heard the rain on the roof, and we had a huge electrical storm hanging around, and I just wanted to get it done. So it was a touch cooler than I probably would have liked. Then I was looking back at the video, and it took 23 seconds to pour, which is too long. It's giving the material too much time to cool down. So I've got to get the molten metal in there quicker and get this pour done faster if I'm going to have any chance of being able to fill these fins. But I mean, this is by no means a disaster. I think I'm having more success doing this than I think I know what's actually going wrong. There's the base. Now I've made that reasonably heavy, but I'm changing that to a thinner section, and there's a reason for that. So that I'm going to change the way I pour it. So feed sprue will be in here directly into where the greatest mass of the casting is, and then smaller vents out either side. So we're actually spreading like that. If you see the vent over the back, I'm going to reduce the diameter of those, so you increase the speed at which it all fills up, because it takes time to fill that up. You think of it filling up a jug and filling up a tube. So that's what we're going to have a crack at. Obviously the feeder works, so I won't be changing that. But I've changed the thickness of the base. I didn't need it as thick as what I casted over there, and by reducing that thickness, all speeds up the time in which you can fill the casting, or fill the mould, sorry. So we'll see how we go. So our moulding box is done. You can see 2 vents this time, there and there, a lot bigger pouring cup. And I've actually increased the diameter of the sprue, only marginally, by a millimetre at the base and a millimetre at the top, because that's got a taper on it, about a 2-degree taper, in the hope of getting more metal in faster. Tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
Fuck it. Didn't work. Oh, maybe it did. In the crucible, is there any left? No? That's the same failure as I have with the other one. Why? And exactly the same thing.
It'll have to do with your back pressure and stuff, I suppose, and steam and...
Yeah, but why exactly the same thing? Looks like I got my casting in just in time. So I've just machined up the spark plug hole. I can actually talk in here now that the storm's gone. I'll screw this arbor in and turn it around, and then I'll face the back side of this, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I don't know whether you can pick that up, but there is a tiny bit of porosity in it. But we'll keep machining away and see what we end up with. That dark stuff around there is still a bit of sand. I haven't fully cleaned up this edge here where my thumb is, so I'll maintain my thickness without cutting too much into it. So I've run a bit of a chamfer on the edge of the fins just to clean them up a bit, and I've done a light cut over the top of the fins. I obviously don't want to take too much off the fins because they're there for cooling. So what I'm going to do now is knock this off where the 2 file fins are. I mean, I'll have a gap in there, but you know what, so what. So that's the head sitting on the barrel. But I've got this whopping big gap in here, and I hate it. I hate it with a vengeance. So what I'm going to do, this boss that's standing there, that square one you can just see running through here in the fins, the central part of the head, I'm going to increase the height of that so I can reduce the height of this boss in here. I might have something like 1 or 2 millimeters, and I'll counterbore it so it fits over the top of the fin on the barrel. I hate it. I hate it with a vengeance. I've got to do another one. So currently at the moment, I'm 3D printing another pattern. Yeah. So there's a few things happening in this video, eh? Look, I'm not gutted or totally disappointed. We're progressing, making progressions. So I'm really happy with that. So by turning the pattern around the other way, we've had a bit of a win there, even though on the last pour it still did that same problem with the fin. I'd love to know what's actually causing it, whether it's the velocity of the molten metal going through or what. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I will still stick to casting with the pattern inverted. As I just said, I hate it. I hate the one that I've done, and I thought I had a bit more thickness, but then I realised that it was for the short reach plug, so I really do want a long reach plug in there because the compression ratio is going to be up a little bit. Nothing over the top, but still up a bit, and that just gives you a bit more integrity without blowing the spark plug out of the head. Look, I really hope you've enjoyed this video, even though I haven't had a total win. We are progressing pretty well on the bikes. We're down to getting engines back together, and of course I've got to get the heads done. So nearly the rest of the engines are all prepped out. So to all my subscribers, thank you very much. And if you haven't hit like or subscribe, please do. So should be another video coming reasonably soon because we're getting close. I've got wheels due in tomorrow. So next week, hopefully we'll have bikes together and back up on the benches, like all the frames and everything together. So from Bones at BSA Bantams, I'll see you later.